Professor, welcome to NTN24. And first of all, what is your analysis of the decision by Mr. Cameron of blocking or veto the new arrangements in the European Union?
I think there are two answers to that question. The first is that Cameron has made a mistake. Using the veto is an extreme form of saying no, which he probably did because of inexperience. And second, I think he fell into a trap created by the French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, which wanted to provoke him to walk out. So in both accounts, he's made a diplomatic and probably policy mistake.
He says he was defending the interest of the UK, and some people say of the city, but other people think that by doing that, he's isolating the UK. In which ways would be the UK isolated from the European Union by this decision?
It's about dynamics of committee meetings. If you're 26 against 1, it's very hard for your position to be put over in a convincing way. And the great danger for Cameron is that when new discussions of regulation, especially the financial sector, which directly affects the City of London, when these new discussions take place, they may take place initially at 26, with Britain not in the room, and only subsequently come to the 27 where Britain will be in the room, and by then the decisions will be more or less set in concrete and impossible to unwind.
What the Eurosceptics think is that the UK has that veto and will be able to block whatever decision the 26 make.
Well, yes and no. Yes, if it's something that is decided purely by unanimity, which means every country has to agree. But there are many aspects of the single European market that since the 1980s have been decided by what's called, I use a very technical expression here, qualified majority voting. And qualified majority voting means that you only need a proportion of the countries to agree to something for it to pass and to become legislation.
And Professor, how do you see the coalition? Is the coalition going to survive? I mean, we have the Liberal Democrats. They are the more pro-European MPs we have in the UK, so they are not happy.
Well, I think the coalition sees its principal business today as being to deal with the financial and economic crisis, to get the public sector deficit down, to deal with the problem of slow growth, and to make sure that the economy is relaunched. So they will see the European issue as a significant one in which they can disagree, but not one that will undermine the coalition.
So they will survive. I mean, the coalition will continue in the next 4 years.
Yes, I think what will happen is the coalition will get through this difficulty in the same way as it did earlier in the year when there was a referendum on what's called the alternative vote, which would have been a solution to the voting patterns in the UK, which would have given the Liberals more opportunities. That was rejected, and that caused some kind of division within the coalition. But still, it survived and continues to work on the main things.
Thank you, Professor.
De nada.